Hi everyone. Hello. Hi, how are you? This is episode 17 and I am out and about in fact today. But I thought that I must have the session. In fact, today it's going to be something that I would like you to join me in this debate about open-mindedness and, well, the statement anything goes. And how does it relate to free thinking? Okay, so I will just say hello to everyone. Hi Srikant, how are you? Those joining in, hello. Thank you for joining in today. Okay, so before I start, all right, I will just say hello to everyone. Hi Lawrence, hi, how are you? So today I wanted to, really explore these labels, you could say. And where do you fit in? Where do you fit in this context of open-mindedness as a person who just, or a person who believes in anything goes? This means whatever comes to you or whatever you read, you believe it and you accept it. And you believe that, you feel that everything is acceptable. So that's what anything goes. And how does it relate to open-mindedness? So please write in the comments about what you think about this. Okay? And I will also explore how it relates to, you could say, free thinking. Okay? Now, I want to hear from you. So write in your comments. Hi Meher, hi Aurangzeb, how are you? Thank you for joining in. Yes, today I'm out and about and I do not have my camera tripod, so I'm just holding with my hand because today I'm kind of busy, but I said, you know what, I must have episode 17 regardless, and I would love to hear your points of view. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking about open-mindedness. Okay? Now, how do you look at open-mindedness as a word? And do you consider yourself open-minded? If you do, say yes in the comments. All right? If you don't, you can also say no. All right? If you just want to make it clear that you're not open-minded. But if you are, do state it. Now, open-mindedness is the willingness to try new things and to consider and hear others' ideas, new ideas. Okay, it's a person who's willing to hear her opponent, okay, and in debate to see if the information makes sense, or if she may consider changing her mind. Okay, that's an open-minded person. So they're willing to evaluate and consider other options. Okay, and perhaps they might even change their mind. All right. Now, a person who is trained scientifically, like myself, we are trained to be open-minded. Why? Because when you're open-minded, you can allow for possibilities. You can allow for, through the process of observation, okay, you can allow for all the possibilities to be shown to you before making a decision or a result. Okay, those who are trained as scientists, those who are trained in science. So it is the, you could say, the default or the trained mechanism of a person who practices science. That's open-mindedness. So it requires a mind that is not clouded by preconceived ideas. Okay? So that's how I look at open-mindedness. And if you are, well, that's a great thing. Now, being open-minded does not mean that you are indecisive. It does not mean that you are wishy-washy. And it also does not mean that you are incapable of thinking for yourself. It has nothing to do with that, right? It means that you are open to possibilities. And that's why it is rather a positive trait. And I personally would encourage people to be open-minded. Imagine a wide open jug, okay, with an open mouth can receive so much more than a closed, narrow vessel. Okay? But ultimately, it's about receiving the right thing. That's where discretion comes in. Okay? Now, let's talk about anything goes. Now, there are groups of people who think they are open-minded, but actually they are not. They are a group of people who believe that anything goes, that everything is all right, that even certain things which would be morally wrong, that would not be in line of virtue, or may have detrimental effects, results in the long term. Okay? Let me give you one example. An extreme example would be abortion. That is okay, anything goes, that's fine. Abortion, fine, it's all right. This is my opinion. Okay? But then again, there are cases where abortions can be very cruel. So persons who believe that anything goes would just accept anything without considering the morality, without considering the virtues, and without considering the long-term results, which may be negative, even though there is this total freedom, okay, total freedom to choose. But I did talk once about responsible freedom. That's very important. Freedom alone is not good enough. Responsible freedom is the key thing. We all need to practice responsible freedom. Okay? So, anything goes is not the way I would encourage things to happen. Okay? Or the kind of thinking that we should adopt. And we need to be careful that we don't mix up the two, between open-mindedness and anything goes. We need to decide on what is virtuous and correct. Now, I wonder if anybody of you know about Plato's allegory about the two winged horses. If you're familiar with Plato, okay, Plato's teacher was Socrates, and he spoke about the two types of winged horses in his allegory. And one was the immortal winged horse, and the other was the mortal winged horse. The immortal one would fly up, bringing up the chariot towards the heavens, and that was leading up to virtue. And the mortal winged horse was grounded to the earth, heading downward. Okay? And it was more weak. It was bringing the chariot downwards towards the earth. And it was based on basal desires of wants. So, responsible freedom is really focusing on the immortal horse, the immortal winged horse that takes us higher. Open-mindedness, without the concept of anything goes, I believe, takes us up towards the heavens, takes us up towards the virtues, the immortal winged horse. Okay? Now, how does it relate to free thinking? What do you understand about free thinking? Now, a free thinker is typically a person who holds he feels that there is insufficient evidence in the supernatural. And no one can be a free thinker who conforms to, you could say, scriptures or creed or a messiah. Okay, that's a free thinker, an example. Free thinkers also don't believe in so much revelation. Okay, but they do have a positive side. So I would say that open-mindedness has some overlaps with free thinking, but it's not the same thing. So there is a difference from a free thinking. Okay? Now, the other thing about free thinking is that it's a philosophical viewpoint that opinions or beliefs of reality should be based on science, logic, and reason. Right? So a person who's open-minded would not limit him or herself to logic and reason. She or he will also open up to the supernatural, to the unseen, to the invisible. Okay? And with that, many more can be received. So if we label ourselves as free thinking, we are actually limiting ourselves from my perspective. So I encourage those who put themselves in that label, in that construct, to reevaluate. Okay? It was when I fully embraced open-mindedness that my mind, my heart opened up to many more awareness and understanding. Okay? So that's one thing I would encourage you to do. Now, the goal of the soul is to indulge in the desires of the virtues to ultimately attain the truth. And this is what Plato was aiming towards. Okay? So when we focus on open-mindedness, we are also focusing on the immortal winged horse that takes us up towards virtues, takes us up towards the heavens, which is limitless, which is open to possibilities. Okay? Now, and yes, the other thing is that it also allows for revelation and is based on faith. If you are limited to free thinking, even though the term itself sounds freedom inspired, from what I know by the definition, it considers revelation and faith as invalid. Okay? So I encourage you to reevaluate as you go towards and seek truth. All right? So this is my sharing for today. I'd like you to think about it. And I look forward to speaking to you again next Wednesday, and I wish you a good night. Visit my website, tahiramirkhan.com, and also my YouTube channel. And thank you very much, and good night.